It was a bright and sunny day when we arrived at the royal palace, our hearts racing with excitement. The palace stood tall, with its golden gates and majestic towers sparkling in the sunlight. Everywhere we looked, tourists gawked at the stunning architecture and the beautiful gardens filled with flowers of every color. But as we roamed the grounds, our curiosity quickly turned to the guards. Clad in their tall, bearskin hats and shining uniforms, they stood like statues, ready to protect the palace. Their serious faces made them look so stern, yet we wanted to know more about them. What did they think about us visitors? Could they laugh? We whispered to one another about how stiff they seemed, and a playful dare was born. Someone should try to make a royal guard laugh. Little did we know that this would lead to an unforgettable adventure full of laughter and surprises. As we wandered closer to the guards, the sight of one in particular made us stop in our tracks. He stood tall and unwavering, a magnificent figure dressed in his bright red jacket and black pants, with a shiny gold belt that gleamed in the sun. His tall bearskin hat towered above him like a crown, casting a shadow over his stoic face. Despite the warmth of the day, he seemed completely unaffected by his surroundings, focused on his duty. We couldn't help but notice how serious he looked, with his eyes fixed straight ahead and a firm set to his jaw. It was as if he was made of stone, and we felt both nervous and excited to be so close to such an important protector of the palace. As we exchanged glances, our hearts raced with the challenge ahead. This guard, so imposing yet so still, was about to become the center of our playful mission to spread joy and laughter. As we gathered around, the energy in the air shifted. One of my friends, always the boldest of the group, looked at the guard and suggested a daring challenge. "I could dare you to make him laugh." The words hung in the air, igniting a spark of excitement as we exchanged mischievous glances. We quickly decided that this would not only be a fun adventure, but also test our creativity. We brainstormed ideas, tossing around silly jokes and funny faces, each one sillier than the last. Someone suggested that we should dance like nobody was watching, and that idea made everyone burst into laughter. The thought of performing antics in front of such a serious guard sent shivers down our spines, but it was thrilling. We determined that if we worked together, we might just succeed. Fueled by a mix of nervousness and adrenaline, we knew this challenge would bring an unforgettable adventure. Our mission to spread laughter was officially underway. We gathered in a huddle, filled with energy and laughter as we prepared for the big moment. Each of us threw out ideas, eager to come up with something that would break the guard's serious demeanor. "What about a funny knock-knock joke?" someone suggested, and we quickly started sharing our favorites. "Knock, knock. Who's there? Let us. Let us who? Let us in, it's freezing out here." The joke made us giggle, but we knew it might not be enough to move the guard. We needed something bolder. Then, one friend jumped up and suggested a silly dance-off. "Let's see who can make the silliest moves." We all burst into laughter at the thought of dancing in front of the guard while trying to keep straight faces. With ideas flying around, we felt more confident. We practiced our best silly faces and goofy gestures, ready to unleash our creativity on this unsuspecting guard for an unforgettable moment. With our hearts racing, we decided it was time to make our first attempt. One brave friend stepped forward, cleared his throat dramatically, and launched into a classic joke. "Why did the chicken cross the road?" "To get to the other side." We held our breath, eager to see if it would get a response. As soon as he finished, my friends burst into giggles, but the guard remained as stoic as ever, his expression unchanged. It was like he didn't even hear us. We exchanged puzzled looks, unsure of what to do next. Not one to be discouraged, another friend chimed in with a different joke, looking hopeful. "What do you call cheese that isn't yours?" "Nacho cheese." Again, we erupted in laughter, but still no reaction from the guard. It seemed our classic jokes fell flat, leaving us feeling a mix of disappointment and amusement. We knew we needed to step up our game for the next attempt. Feeling a bit defeated, but not ready to give up, we gathered in a circle to regroup and discuss what went wrong. "Maybe the jokes were too ordinary," one friend suggested. "He's a royal guard. He's heard them all before." We nodded in agreement, realizing that we needed to think outside the box. Another friend proposed. What if we tried something more unexpected? Maybe a funny skit or some silly dance moves. The idea sparked excitement in the group. We brainstormed different characters we could portray. Perhaps a clumsy waiter serving invisible food, or a dramatic soap opera scene with exaggerated emotions. We laughed at the thought of how ridiculous we could be, and our spirits lifted. Let's pick our best ideas and practice them, someone suggested. With newfound determination, we started to plan our next move, confident that this time we would finally win over the guard's serious expression and create a moment to remember. As we continued to brainstorm, one of us suddenly exclaimed, "What if we use funny faces? Everyone loves silly expressions." The idea sparked immediate excitement in the group. We all agreed that making exaggerated facial expressions could be a surprise tactic that would catch the guard off guard. We found a little space away from the guard and began practicing in front of each other. One friend puffed out his cheeks and crossed his eyes, creating a look that made everyone burst into giggles. Another pretended to have a giant nose and made a funny honking sound. The laughter grew louder as we tried out different silly faces, each more outrageous than the last. We felt lighter and more confident with every goofy expression. It was clear that we were onto something special. With our newfound secret weapon ready, we could hardly wait to face the guard again, believing that this time, our efforts would finally pay off. With our plan set, it was time for the final attempt, and one brave friend volunteered to take center stage. He stepped forward, wore a determined look, and began to dance in the silliest way possible. His arms flailed about, and his feet shuffled as if they had a mind of their own. As he danced, he started reciting an outrageous rhyme he had made up just for this moment. "I'm a wiggly worm in a funny hat, dancing around like a silly cat. Watch me twist and turn with glee. Come on, guard, you have to see." His voice echoed over the palace grounds, and the other friends cheered him on. We couldn't help but join in the fun, clapping and laughing at his ridiculous moves. The guard remained still at first, but our excitement filled the air. We held our breath, hoping this wild performance would finally crack his serious facade and spark a smile. As our friend danced with all his might, the moment of truth arrived. We watched, breathless, as the guard's serious expression began to shift. His eyes widened in surprise, and for the first time, we saw a flicker of amusement on his face. Then, just as our hearts raced with hope, an unexpected sound erupted from him, a deep, hearty laugh that echoed through the palace grounds. The laughter was infectious. It rang out like music, and we couldn't believe what we were hearing. Our friend continued to dance even more wildly, and with every silly move he made, the guard's laughter grew louder. We erupted into cheers and applause, overwhelmed with joy at our success. In that magical moment, it felt as if time stood still. The stern guard was no longer a statue. He was a part of our adventure. We celebrated together, knowing we had achieved something truly special, bringing laughter to someone who seemed so serious at first. As the guard's laughter filled the air, it was like a burst of sunshine breaking through the clouds. We couldn't contain our excitement and erupted into cheers, hugging one another and jumping up and down in pure joy. We did it. We made him laugh, someone shouted, and the surrounding tourists turned to see what all the commotion was about. Our friend, still dancing energetically, grinned from ear to ear, both proud and thrilled by the success. The guard, now smiling broadly, seemed to enjoy the celebration as much as we did. We started clapping and chanting his name, inviting him to join our joy. In that moment, barriers melted away. It felt like we had bridged a gap between two worlds, the serious royal guard and our playful group of friends. We shared stories of how much this adventure had meant to us, laughing together at the day's events. It was a day we would always remember, a blend of laughter and camaraderie that brought us all closer together. As we basked in the afterglow of our joyful moment, we began to reflect on what had just happened. Gathering together, we shared our thoughts about how laughter can truly bring people closer, no matter their roles or how serious they might seem. It's amazing how a simple laugh can change everything. One friend remarked, looking at the guard who had just joined in our celebration. We discussed how, for a brief moment, the guard transformed from a stoic protector into a participant in our fun. It reminded us that everyone has a lighter side waiting to be revealed, even those who seem the most serious. Another friend added, laughter breaks down barriers and helps us connect on a human level. We all nodded in agreement, realizing that this experience would stay with us forever. It wasn't just about making the guard laugh. It was about sharing joy and creating memories that united us all in a way we never expected. As the sun began to set over the royal palace, we felt a warm glow of happiness reflecting on our incredible day. Each of us knew that this adventure had been more than just a challenge. It was a reminder of the power of laughter and connection. We exchanged stories about how we felt during the moments leading up to the guard's laughter, laughing together at our enthusiasm and silliness. Let's promise to always find joy in the little things, one friend suggested, and everyone eagerly agreed. We took a final group photo, smiles plastered on our faces, capturing the spirit of our unforgettable experience. As we walked away from the palace, we carried with us not just memories of a serious royal guard, but a lesson in joy that would last forever. This day would always hold a special place in our hearts, a testament to courage, creativity, and the magic of laughter that can truly unite us all.